Hello, my beautiful Leo Pride, and welcome to February 2020. This is a powerful month, and I'm filming and discussing the Leo process at the near the end of all my discussions. So I'm really feeling this conversation is contextualized in the sense that this month is not about the surface. It's not about the way things appear. It's not about performing. It's not about looking good and being surface oriented. It's really about quality connections, depth of connection. And Leo's got some really big things here. I've been noticing that while we had a new year already, obviously, and we had all those eclipses, in many ways, February is the first month where there's a full stepping into who we are now in this year. And it really is going to take probably all of February and even into March before we fully feel we can embody what is happening and who we are now. And it's a process. It's a step-by-step process that keeps unfolding. And of course, February is a powerful time for Leos. It's Aquarius season all the way until the 19th, and that means that we're having a lot of energy in our opposing sign of Aquarius, which means it's that chance to kind of see ourselves with fresh eyes, to see the world with fresh eyes, to kind of look at our existence from a more detached place and kind of see ourselves outside of the stories we tell about ourselves, the containers we put ourselves in. In fact, the message that came up for me for Leos was so crystal clear and so loud. When I sat down to feel through the energy, I was kind of blown away, which is that this is a time to be the flâneur. And if you don't know that word, it means to wander aimlessly but with intent. And what I mean by that is this is a month to take off all your containers, all your labels, this is who I am. This is who I'm supposed to be. Take some of that pressure off and look at yourself as a whole and see what comes up when you no longer have those containers. Now that will seem a little scary at first. And some of you may be asking, well, if I don't have that clarity of this is what I want and this is what I want to bring into my life, won't I be missing something? Won't I just be sitting around not connecting to what I want? But the thing is that our conscious minds have a whole list of things. This is what you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to want. Our souls and our subconscious, on the other hand, have real information. Okay, a couple cards already wanted to come out. 3 of Pentacles and 9 of Wands. Because the other thing that's going on this month, it's not just mirror season for Leos. We also have a Mercury retrograde happening in Pisces, our 8th house. I'm saying our because I'm a Leo sun. But there's a Mercury retrograde beginning on February 17th with Mercury moving through Pisces, back through Pisces, and then entering into Aquarius at the very end. So when we have a Mercury retrograde, which by the way, I will be doing a really nice, slow, tender Mercury retrograde discussion on Patreon. So if you're looking for more resources in February, please go join me over there. I would love to see you. It's amazing space to just hang out a little bit more and really feel through the moons and things like Mercury retrograde. But this Mercury retrograde is about the softness of feeling. Mercury is so much about the appearance of busy work and movement that when it's retrograde, it gives us the chance to be a lot more real about what we're actually feeling, what we're actually wanting to hear our souls, and not just the busyness of communication. And that is a really powerful thing. Now, it is going through your 8th house. This is a transformation. It's a birth and a death. And, the thing is that who you thought you were in 2019 is not applying here. And that can be a little scary as well. That whole trusting into the darkness. And we're not even talking about depression or going into our dungeons. We're talking about kind of like the amorphous soup of the universe, trusting into less of these boxes we put ourselves in. The sun, I love it. Is really powerful for what will rise to the surface. You'll find that your way, the things you're meant to be creating, the things you're meant to be concocting and embodying will surprise you, number one, because you'll think, I was never thinking that that's how that was going to look. Number two, will be easy, will be fulfilling, will be soulful, will be powerful. So taking that pressure off is really important, because yeah, we have this Mercury retrograde going through Temperance. I love it. Going through a very tender part of our chart. There's also a full moon in Leo on February 9th. And I love this because I think a full moon in your own sign is always also a really great clarifier. So not only is the sun moving through your oppositional sign, helping you to kind of see yourself with fresh eyes, but you also have the moon just illuminated, sitting with you, helping you remember that the not conscious part of your mind, the soul, the subconscious, the frequency part of yourself that has a really great map and really great resources for you. So that full moon, I'm getting full body shivers just even thinking about it. There's a couple other transits that are really great for Leos during this time. Venus is moving into Aries, a fellow fire sign, 3 of Cups. Wow, you're getting threes, and I really love that for Leos right now. You're getting, so that Venus and Aries energy is going to be very much about lighting up where you want to go in this world, what you want to do next. Mars is moving into Capricorn, also very determined energy about how you're taking care of your body, how you want to show up day to day. These are very crystal clear energies in the midst of all this other kind of soupy, mysterious energy. And then, of course, as we move into Pisces season, we're moving into that transformation from one skin to another. And that process will continue all the way into Aries season. So when we hit into Aries season, we'll be having new themes. But you may be noticing February and March, you're changing skins, you're changing shape. That can be uncomfortable. It can be a little mysterious. Page of Pentacles, I love it. I'm going to pull a couple more cards here and then we'll start talking. And the new moon in Pisces that happens near the end of the month is a really great time to let that mysterious voice, that mysterious internal voice speak to you. So February could feel, I think it could be a really positive month, honestly. And the cards are looking beautiful, my friends. They really are. 10 of Wands. That card's been coming up quite a bit for people because there is a recalibration, a reassessment of what's really necessary to carry. Let's see what the final card is. It may feel, and High Priestess. Oh, is that perfect or what? Man, the 10 of Wands with the High Priestess, I think pretty much. Oh, on the bottom of the deck is the Lovers. I love that. I'm going to add that. Oh, and the Ace of Cups. Okay. I'm going to add that on top because I can't resist if I see a connective thread here. Okay. So this could be a really beautiful month, but it is going to require you to trust yourself a little bit more. Trust that, in not constantly boxing yourself into these narratives, that you're going to be okay. Life will continue and you'll continue to create and do, but maybe with less of these little prison cells, quite honestly. So, all right, here's the thing. We start off right away with 3 of Pentacles, which I love because this is about doing something in the world, right? This is shared vision energy. So connecting with people who share a vision with you. And I think this is a really helpful tool, actually. Sometimes, when we are being a flaneur and we're flaneuring through the world, having other people that see us and understand us can really help us calibrate. Doing it all alone doesn't always work so well. So this is really great. And the thing that I'm noticing is you're tapping into new projects that have a new vision in them, probably connect collectively to what we're needing in the world more. And that's the first step of this month. You're going to be noticing what flavors of work and value that are coming up for you are different. The work you're doing in the world may look and feel different than you thought it was supposed to look. You may be getting called to a different frequency within that. Not better or worse, just different. And the thing that I'm noticing here too, though, is the wounded warrior. The wounded warrior showing up in your reading. Probably going to get teary because whenever the wounded warrior shows up, it's like, here's this adult you, that's actually a child you, that is convinced that looking out for danger is going to keep them safe. And the battle is over. It's not here anymore. And there's a constant looking for the scary stuff. And so you may be noticing that as you are trusting into new creative avenues, new love relationships, new aspects of yourself, because there is a birth and a death and a birth going on with the Leo energy right now. It's a closeout of all the storms that just passed over us these last 6 months. This is kind of crossing the river Styx into new sunlight. Those battles are no longer here. And so you may be finding that haunted house wants to peek up and say, hi, are you okay? Maybe this will all blow up in your face. It's actually really interesting. I was talking to my friend yesterday at lunch, really, really good friend who's known me for a long time. And, I have a really exciting year ahead and really great things happening in my life. And she caught me out because I was talking about all this exciting stuff that makes me so happy. And I'm like, yeah, but we don't really actually know what will happen. And, in theory, that sounds like a really reasonable thing to say, right? I don't know what's going to happen and I don't have control over it. But the way I'm using that mechanism is a way to protect myself, is a way to look for trouble before it comes, to protect myself. And she said, why do you keep doing that? She totally called me out. And I was like, no, it's just because I was trying to defend it. And then I realized the more I thought about it through the rest of the day, she was right, that I'm looking for these scary things. And so it's easy to do. But here's the thing. Everything around you, my Leo loves, is like, we're over here now, because I'm just looking at the sun and temperance. And I love the dialogue between the Nine of Wands and the sun, because so the Nine of Wands is when we're in that fear-based survival childhood mode, right? And the sun is when we are that kid in the sprinkler in the summer, sidewalk chalk drying, however you grew up, running through the woods without a shirt on, and some sandals and digging through the dirt, whatever it is. The sun is that free wild child. And the Nine of Wands is when we're trying to keep that wild child safe by having structure, right? And that's where I'm saying, like, taking these boxes off, taking these preconceived notions of yourself off for just long enough to look around. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to be this amorphous blob for the rest of time, but if you kind of see yourself, well, this is the work I do, this is the type of partner I am, this is just who I am. If you take those off, who are you? What are you? What comes through and speaks. So the sun is there, that revelatory Leo heart that is the playful child, that is the playful light being. Temperance is really interesting too. Its fellow fire sign Sagittarius is tied to temperance, but temperance is also about tempering and managing like heat levels and different aspects of ourselves, right? This is cosmic alchemy. It's reconcocting who we are. It's recalibrating. And actually, I really love temperance when you think about taking that time to maybe meditate or slow down or get off the topic of something scary or stressful. When you kind of do any of those things in life that help you recalibrate your frequency, that's very much temperance energy, right? Temperance isn't about pedal to the metal, and go. This is about tempering, right? This is about reformulating on a cosmic scale, on a really deep cosmic scale. And I love this angel because this is about that deeper aspect of ourselves that's speaking. So there's some really magical thing going on with the fire element here, utilizing that fire in new ways that truly, I think you have an idea of what some of these ways are because they've been bubbling up for the last few months. But honestly, in the last 6 to 7 months, there have been things introduced during that phase that have changed you radically. And getting used to them, getting your head wrapped around them is taking some time. And I'm noticing that. Now you have another 3 here as well. You've got 2 3s today, and I love these 3s because these are the 3s of communion and community. I'm not here about to do a boring reading of 3 of Cups as romantic drama. It's so boring. Sorry, but yeah, no. This is about community and communion. This is about being around people who see you fully, who help you tap into who you are becoming next. It's often about meeting new people, and not romantically. This is about like soul friends. This is about people who get you and see you and help you get comfortable and familiar with who you're becoming now in a way that I think is really soothing and necessary, because being an adventurer, growing into a new shape, takes a lot of courage, and it can be really scary and lonely. And having friends who kind of make it easier are so valuable. And I'm seeing that here. And you're also getting infusions. There's some kind of new home environment, some kind of new daily routine that's getting reworked here. And Page of Pentacles is infusing your life with the practical means to kind of root down and stabilize a little bit as you take off these container lids and you let yourself float. There are also practical things helping you. Now, here's the thing. The temptation this month is going to be, you're going to want to just... You may get really freaked out, like you're not doing enough, like you're not pushing enough, like you're not asking enough questions, like maybe you're not even doing enough spiritual homework and you need to start getting up at 5 a.m. and you need to start doing, 10 morning pages and meditating for an hour, whatever. Maybe that's how you're dealing with, maybe you try and do work the way you used to be doing it, or pick up old projects or an old client and just go, and you're like really tempted to do that in order to feel like you have value in the world. And sitting quietly and maybe taking a couple extra days to listen may feel really scary and like you're not allowed to do it. But that's what this dialogue is saying. It's going to be really uncomfortable for you. It's going to be really scary. But it's not actually scary. It's actually very safe for you to feel through this energy and to feel through this sense of intuitive knowledge, right? So where you feel tempted to maybe just pile on what you know how to do and just neglect these really deep feelings, just try to be conscious that this is a time to be open to what the High Priestess is telling you. We are, of course, moving into Pisces season as well, and Pisces season is so ruled by High Priestess energy. It's a really important time to listen into that aspect of self. And I have to say, the 8th house is some of the best information you can ever get. We're taught to fear 8th house energy, which is death and rebirth. It's all the taboo topics: sex, other people's money, the hidden, and the occults, and we're taught to fear it and worry over it. And it actually gives us some of the best guidance we can have for following our soul song. Now, I couldn't resist these two cards at the top, the Lovers and the Ace of Cups, because I think we can apply this to so much more than relationship. For some of you, yes, I think there's deeper levels happening in relationship. It's part of the puzzle of this, taking these containers off and letting who you are fully speak out and be really present. But this is also about really connecting with your purpose, really connecting with who you are now. We're constantly becoming, we're constantly changing shape, but I do think that there are tipping points in our lives where we really fully step into a new version of ourselves, and at those times we are needing a lot of trust in ourselves, and we're needing to lean into the mystery of it for a little while until we understand it more fully and we're inhabiting it in our physical. And there's a lot of emotive work going on here behind the scenes, internally, and it's not going to look like busy work. It's not going to look like instant success on the outside and everybody coming to you. It's going to look like not much is happening externally, but so much is happening in your internal world, in the soft, intimate moments of your life. And I want you to give yourself credit for taking the time to do that soft, intimate work. I wrote up a whole bunch of words for the month of February and put them in this bowl. And I'm going to pull one final message for the Leo Pride today in context of all of this. Oh, I love it. The word is hope. Hope. I think the thing that came to mind as well as this aimless wandering with intention energy has come up for Leos is to let yourself hope. to let yourself be hopeful of this next phase, to not be wary of it. Because I think the thing is, you have hope and you are excited and you are feeling the vibrancy and the excitement of being in this next phase, and it feels so good. And there's a part of you that's the wounded warrior part of you, the hard worker part of you, that's like, don't hope just yet. That's a little premature. Maybe you should pull the brakes. You don't know how this is going to work out. It's the me sitting at lunch saying, I don't actually know, right? That part of yourself isn't letting yourself fully hope, fully dream, fully just show up at the table like this child, like being here, right? As a kid, when you had like an afternoon to play and your friend came over and you were going outside to do whatever, or you got your art projects out and you started drawing and creating, you never stopped and said, well, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we're not allowed to do this. Well, maybe some of you did, actually. Some of us have trauma around interesting parts of our childhood. But like our true inner child would have just been like, of course I'm going to draw for the next 5 hours. Like, why wouldn't I do that? And we want to tap back into that level of hope again, because it really does facilitate greater connection and greater adventure ahead. I'm so excited for the Leo Pride for this month. Like I said, it goes deep. It goes deep, but not in a destructive way, not in a scary way, in a very nurturing, powerful way that just pay attention, right? So like I said, you can find more resources by joining me over on Patreon. I do weekly updates as well as videos and discussions about all sorts of things, including my personal life, so you can go check that out. I also have a handful of sessions still available in February. I'll be opening up more sessions very soon for March, so kind of keep an eye out. I'll leave my booking link below so you can check that out. You can also find me on Instagram at SarahVerba. And of course, as always, I'm wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. Go check out her in her Etsy shop and all the beautiful handmade work she does there. I will see you all in March. That is so wild. I'll see you all in March for more of this 8th house transformation for the Leo clan, as we move from that 8th house into the big, bold energy of Aries. It's going to be a powerful month in March as well. I'll see you all very soon. Have a beautiful February.